All right, I'm here at Grant Elementary School in Santa Monica, California, and you can see it's a beautiful old school. Actually, in 2025, it just celebrated its 100th anniversary since it's been here. It's about 101 years old. Now, what's special about this school is what happened recently made international news. Right here, right in front of the school, there was a Waymo that hit a child who was being let off walking to the school, and the child apparently wasn't hurt, or maybe had some minor injuries, but it kind of made national news because, of course, people are concerned about these types of things. So this is only about an hour from where I live in Southern California, and because I obviously write and make videos about going to school and writing about getting to school, I thought this would be a good opportunity to come and kind of see the space. I wanted to interrogate it myself. So let's go over to the spot to where it happened. One of the parents apparently had their kid on this side of the road, and the daughter ran across the street. It's either here or right on this other side here, ran across the street, and the Waymo was driving on Pearl Street, and it didn't see the kid, I guess, until kind of the last minute, and hit the girl, but it did slam on its brakes. So it was going 17, that's the story that they say. It was going 17 miles per hour, slammed on the brakes, hit the child going about 6 miles per hour. We can see the school is right across the street, and this is about where I believe it happened, where there was apparently a car parked around here, and even a car parked, I think they said it was double parked. That's what the reports were, double parked. So here, and the little girl runs to go get to the school, and you can see I'm in the street right now, but imagine a lot of kids and cars, and so she runs out, the Waymo's coming, and slams on the brakes, hits the girl, and apparently she gets up and everything is fine. So the Waymo was speeding, actually. So the Waymo should have been going 15. Now, I'll show you here in a second. We drive through. It's actually really hard to get up to over 15 miles an hour. Why is that? Well, because this is in the middle of a neighborhood. And so this is right down the street. We have a stop sign right here. We have curb bumps out. So when you get here and you have to stop where this actually car is coming up on us. And actually, I want to show you this. This is the speed limit when children are present, okay? So this means the Waymo was definitely speeding. So what ends up happening is Waymo comes in 17 miles an hour. There's a stop sign here. I would say probably 50 yards up that way, there's another stop sign. So it's really, really difficult to get up to certainly 20 miles an hour. Just trying to get a little sense of the neighborhood. This is the other direction down the block, and I mean, again, this is nice urbanism for maybe a suburban neighborhood. Again, we got those curb extensions giving you a nice tight corridor for people to walk through, and again, bike lane, not protected but green, not a shero, better than nothing. We have the trees overhanging the street, creating a nice canopy. Beautiful homes, not too far set back. Maybe little bit nicer than what they do in newer kind of suburbs. And then I'm just gonna walk. This is basically one block. And again, the child was hit somewhere. And you can see some of these cars, like that car there, is definitely, going about 20 miles an hour, which is funny because they leave this stop sign right here. And then that car turned, but they come down here, and then there's another stop sign right in front of the school. And so certainly drivers are, because there's sort of like an object permanence issue where you kind of jam on the gas only to jam on the brakes. You can see now we're at the school. Okay, so school entrance is right up here. We can see a sign for soccer camps. This is a great neighborhood, great school. This is like what people want when they ask me or when they, read my articles on walking to school and what happened. Like, we're losing schools like Grant. The school is right in the neighborhood, so there's really not any kind of big parking lot. There is not any type of kind of spots for parents to line up. And I'm filming on a Saturday because I didn't want to be a creeper and have students and things like that and kids running around when I'm trying to film. But apparently what happens is when kids are being dropped off to this school, obviously some are walking and biking. And this is a pretty nice neighborhood for walking and biking. We can see we have painted green bike lanes, which are, not my favorite, but at least there's some kind of forethought there, even though there are some sharrows on that side of the road. And so you can kind of see that there is some good foresight in terms of urbanism and walkability. But what ends up happening is, even though people are able to walk to the school, parents still drive and drop their cars off. And so even though this area made national news, international news really, for this self-driving car accident, there was something more horrific 5 miles from here, 10-minute drive, that I also want to show you that didn't make national news. It certainly made local news, but it was of a driver who ended up killing several people, unlike what happened in this space. So I'm here at this Ranch 99, and this is, like I said, only 10 minutes from the site of that school. This is in Westwood, that was in Santa Monica. And I want to keep my distance. I can see kind of the family grieving over there, where the car drove through this intersection and rammed into the grocery store and killing 3 people. And 90-year-old woman, or in her 90s, older than 90s, still driving, and crashed into the bakery section of the Ranch 99. Very sad, obviously, and completely different than what you saw at the site of the Grant Elementary School. And so, my kind of thinking here is that obviously we would rather have neither of these kinds of issues, but when we think about kind of the trade-offs here, we basically don't want a person like that on our roads, and we say, why do we allow that? I would give me the robots over having someone losing their facilities and not being able to control the car. And we, for so many reasons, allow people to continue to drive like that. And when you do that, this is what you get. Just incredibly sad sight, mourning family, people dying. And, if we can look out here, this is in the middle of a city. This is in the middle of, like I said, UCLA is down the street this way. Santa Monica is this other direction. And this is essentially a Strode in the middle of the city. Why don't we put bollards up in the area where the grocery store is. They don't do that because they're worried that people are going to crash into it and hurt themselves. And the problem is that, okay, well, instead of putting up bollards and rocks and barriers, we allow people to kill innocent lives who were just standing around waiting for, their coffee. So even this right in front of the Ranch 99, we have a breakaway pole. So of course, if the car hits this pole, it's going to fall over into the Ranch 99. And so again, that just kind of illustrates that there is more care for the people driving out here than the people inside of this restaurant or anyone walking down the street. What's my verdict here at Grant School in Santa Monica? I kind of want to point out this is a perfect neighborhood, or a great neighborhood. I think that people would like and they would prefer, especially a lot of urbanists, when we're talking at least about maybe an ideal suburb. It is walkable. You can walk to the school. And even then, there are problems, there are frictions, even with self-driving cars. And so I think what that is going to tell us is that a place like this, walking to school, urbanism, self-driving cars cannot solve everything, even though I'm an advocate. I'm very pro self-driving cars. But as I'm seeing here today with kids, with people, with life, it's still going to create some friction. And we're going to need to remember that as urbanists as we move forward. I'm going to continue to advocate for self-driving cars, but in the future, that's not the only solution.